What is PPP values and why is it so important you implement the concepts into your offense? Welcome to the Efficiency Podcast, a basketball podcast designed for professional and elite basketball coaches. I'm Coach Sullivan, assistant coach at St. John Fisher University. So I want to take a little more of a deep dive into PPP today. In my intro video, when we started these podcasts, I went really fast through it. So let's just take 4 or 5 minutes and describe what it is and why it's so important. Points per possession. Let's start with something simple, like 1. If I have a 1 point per possession, let's just say it's a one-on-one move. So if you give me 2 one-on-one moves, I'm going to score 1 out of 2 times for a 2-point shot. So if you average that, 2 times, 2 points, you get 1. So in theory, every time I'm getting the ball and doing a certain action, I'm going to get 1 point. Let's take a look at some of these higher level PPP values. They're the top tier. When you look at an offense, your transition offense is one of the highest at 1.1, 1.2. And why is that? Because transition's tough, right? On defense, you're pushing the ball. There's a lot of lanes open. Defense isn't set. Guys are not loading to certain sides, helping on defense. It's an energy play. You push the ball, get up the court, get it to the rim as quick as possible. Putbacks, offensive rebounds, 1.1, 1.25. So every time someone gets a rebound, there's a high probability they're putting it back in. And when you think of the game, that's what's happening. Cutting to the basket, off the ball. Anytime we're cutting to the basket, you're catching and usually you're getting a layup. So that's why it's a high PPP value. Pick and roll, the roll man. So this is going to be, you come off a pick and roll, we're going to hit the roll man, not the actual ball handler. And then another one, spot up shooting, catch and shoot, not on the dribble. Those are very high value PPP values. And what do they all have in common? Pressure on the rim. As close as if you can get to the rim, you're going to get fouled, you're going to be able to get layups, you're getting rebounds at the rim, and any kickouts are usually coming from the paint. Now, let's take a look at another chart showing some of the actions of the individual. Free throws, right? If you're taking free throws, you should have a pretty high value, which again is putting pressure on the rim, getting fouled, driving to the hoop. There's nobody guarding you. The average is 75%, which turns into 1.5 PPP value. Cuts to the basket, we talked about putbacks. You'll see these in green, transition, pick and roll, corner 3. Let's look at some of the ones that you want to avoid in your offense. A pick and roll ball handler. You might think that's a high value, but it's not always as high as some of the other situations if they present themselves, or if you create an offense that presents itself. Post-ups, a skilled player, it's about 1. Isolation is about a 1. Mid-range jumper is one of the worst PPP values you can have. It's about a 0.8. Post-ups and isolation. So that's because a lot of those don't have a lot of movement to them. And the mid-range is usually off a dribble, and it's just not a good shot. So why is that so important? Their PPP values. Let's take an example, if we can see right here, 50 possessions in a game. Let's say our PPP value is 1. So you see here we got a PPP value of 1. Our opponent's is 0.85. So if that's a situation on a 50 possessions, we should score 50 points, right? Because we have a points per possession of 1. So if we get 50 possessions in a game, we should be around 50 points. Well, if they're 0.85, they should be around 42.5. So we would win by about 7.5 on paper. If we look at 100 possessions, we get 100 points. The opponent would have 85 points. We would win by 15. So what you're probably thinking is the more possessions in a game, if we have a higher efficient offense, a higher PPP value for most of the actions we do, which again would give us an efficient offense, you want more possessions. Well, how do you implement all this into an offense? Well, what if you have something where it involves passing to the post, cutters, open threes? Well, that's exactly what I've done. They've let me loose. With the help of the coaching staff, I've designed a brand new offense called the spin offense. which involves all these high PPP values. It puts kids in these positions where they have opportunities to score at a higher rate. And the goal is to make them better individually skilled and then have an offense that is efficient and also follows our principles of offense, which is based around that. My goal is to create a top 10 efficient offense in the country. And I believe we're going to do it. And I believe it's scalable up to the NBA level or any level below that. If we can do that, we do not have anybody coming back that is second team, third team, even in our division. Imagine if you had talented players with this offense. There's plenty of opportunities to score. It's going to take some time. If you have questions, reach out to me at coachsullivanbasketball@gmail.com. Make sure you share. I need more coaches. You got to share this to coaches if you're finding some value in this. Twitter @CoachSullivan. Remember what I'm always saying? Work hard, stay the course, persevere, and good things will happen. I'm Coach Sullivan. We'll see you next time.